to accounting for investments. Ayan, so unahin po natin, yung first two materials natin would be related to investment in equity securities. Ayan, tapos yung third handout na tatapusin rin natin ay related naman saan? Related naman po sa debt securities. Ano? So dito muna tayo sa equity securities. So equity securities, ano po yung basic basic characteristic niya compared with yung distinguishing feature niya compared with debt securities. Ito, this will represent residual interest dun sa entity, dun sa investee, okay? Or in other words, ano siya? Okay, it could represent ownership. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, so ayun. So paano po ina-account ang investment in equity securities? So sabi niya, depende yan dun sa investments mo. Okay, generally, if your investment is less than 20%, pagka less than 20% yan, actually siya yung residual. No? Pag less than 20%, it will be accounted for under PFRS 9. So, dyan na papasok yung FBPL, FBOC classification, or yung mga unquoted securities natin. Nakukuha. Pero pagka pumalo na yan ng 20%, up to 50%, anong presumption? Ano pong presumption dito? Meron ka ng, or you can already exercise significant influence. So, pagka may significant influence ka na, the treatment to your investment is, investment in ASO mo na yan. So, it will be counted under PAS 28. Nasusundan po, or IAS 28. Tapos, kapag pumalo naman yan ng more than 50%, okay, ano nang kaya mong i-exercise dito? Kung dito, significant influence, dito pa control. Okay, so pagka-control, ano na to? Investment in subsidiary. So, yung investment in subsidiary, mas napag-uusapan lang natin to in detail saan? Sa AFAR, diba? Sa business combination. Okay, so from date of acquisition up to subsequent reporting dates, ayun, ina-account natin yon. So, dun na yung discussion nun. So, we will be focusing more on this. Okay? So, ayun. So, pagka ina-account mo pong investment mo, okay, under PFRS 9, okay, so, sabi niya, no, naka-fair value model ka, or at times, pag walang fair values po kasi, naka-recognize yan at cost, you will be using cost model. Okay? So, fair value model or cost model. So, ano po ang basic lang na dapat na familiar ka doon? Yung accounting for dividends. Okay? If ever the investee will be declaring dividends, yung investor po, anong treatment niya doon sa dividends? Okay? I-treat niya lang yun as dividend income based on the dividends received. Nasusundan yan. So, ang income niya, ang dividend income niya will be based on the amount of dividends received. So, kung cash dividend dyan, kung magkano yung face. Kung property dividend dyan, obviously, yung fair value ng property, naalala pa? And then, kapag ka naman po stock dividend, pagka stock dividend dyan, generally, it's memorandum entry lang muna. Nakukuha. So, later, we will be specifying kung paano po i-account yung dividends na yan. Ano? Pagka naman pumalo na yan sa investment in ASO, required na siyang gumamit ng equity method. Diba? So, under the equity method, ano po ang magre-represent ng investment income? The investment income would be based on the based on the reported net income of the investee. So, kung for example, we own 20%, nag-report siya ng 1 million, edi wala namang ibang adjustment. So, 1 million times 20%, yun yung income mo. So, ang entry niya, debit investment in ASO, credit investment income. Nasusundan yun. And then, anong treatment niya sa dividends received? Dividends received will be treated as a reduction to the investment account. So, parang as if, trinitreat niya as liquidating dividends. Hindi talaga income. Ano siya? Return of investment. Nasusundan siya. Nakukuha po. So, yun yung basic difference ng accounting nila. Okay? And then, we will be specifying more kung paano i-account ang PFRS 9 and investment in ASO. Okay? So, sige. So, unahin po natin yung accounting for investments in equity securities under PFRS 9. So, yung investments po natin under PFRS 9, may dalawang classification yan. So, pwede mo daw siyang i-classify as FBPL, ayan, or investment in equity securities classified as fair value through profit or loss, or ano ba, FBOC, ayan, or fair value through OCI. Okay, so ano po ang FBPL, or ano ang O, kailan ka magkakaroon ng FBPL at saka kailan ka magkakaroon ng FOC? Okay, FBPL yan if the investment is held for trading. So, for short-term profit taking, di ba? Or mag-profit ka from changes in fair values. Nasusundan po ba? Okay. Held for trading, FBPL. Or, ano po? By designation. O, lahat po ng by designation, irrevocable. Once designated, it cannot be, or the item cannot be revoked, di ba? Or hindi na pwedeng bawiin. So, hindi na siya pwedeng tanggalin dyan sa classification na yan. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, next. Tapos, ang FOC, kailan ka magkakaroon ng FOC? Again, by designation on the date of, acquisition. Nakukuha? Okay, so, we will be designating the investment as FOC on the date of acquisition or at the date of acquisition. With that, tignan mo So, siya, pwede ka lang magka-FOC at the date of acquisition. Okay? So, subsequent dates, hindi pwede. Diba? Kasi by irrevocable designation siya at the date of acquisition. Nasusundan po. Okay, so with that concept, obviously, hindi ka pwedeng mag-reclassify from FBPL papunta ng FOC. Kasi nga dapat magkakaroon ka lang ng FOC sa date of acquisition. Nasundan? So, kung in-classify mo na siya ng FBPL at date of acquisition, hindi na siya pwedeng malipat ng FOC. Is that clear? Nasusundan po ba? Okay, so ayun. So, tapos once na dinesignate mo naman siya, irrevocable din. So, hindi ka rin pwedeng pumunta from FOC papunta ng FBPL. Nagets po? So, walang reclassification pagka equity securities. Nasusundan to. Okay, next. So, i-account po natin. So, ano po ang mga accounting treatment? So, initial measurement. Pag po FBPL yan, anong treatment? So, it will be recognized at fair value. Anong treatment po sa transaction cost? Answer? Expense mo lang yan. Okay? Pagka naman FOC, i-capitalize mo yan at fair value plus transaction cost. So, anong difference? Capitalization ng transaction cost. FBPL, expense. FOC, capitalize. Clear? Next, subsequent reporting date. Ano po ang measurement? So, fair value. Fair value. Okay na? So, di ba, laki ng possibilities na yung magkaroon ng difference yung fair value from one reporting date to another reporting date. So, saan papasok ang changes in fair values? Changes in fair values, ito po, kaya FBPL, di ba, papasok sa PNL. And then, ito naman, OCI. Okay po? So, sa OCI mo, yung change during the period, ayan. Saan papasok po? Pagka during the period, sa SCI yun. Okay? Statement of Comprehensive Income, nandun sa other comprehensive income section. Okay, pagka naman yung cumulative balance, ang mag-a-appear yan saan? Statement of Financial Position. Specifically sa shareholders' equity. Okay, so what would be the best way to compute for the cumulative balance? So, simple lang po, di ba? Okay, tignan mo lang yung fair value at reporting date. I-compare mo lang with what? Okay, with cost. Yan. Compare mo lang siya with cost. Ito na yung cumulative balance mo. Nasusundan yun. Yun dapat yung makita mo sa SFP. Tandaan na, yung sa SCI, yung change from one fair value to another, one reporting date to another reporting date. Okay? Tapos, ito, cumulative, fair value at reporting date, okay, compare mo lang with the cost. Is that clear? Nasusundan po ba? Okay, next. Income. Anong magre-represent ng dividend income? Again, di ba, naka-fair value model to. Okay, so pag naka-fair value model, kung magkano ang matanggap, yun yung magre-represent ng income nila. Kuha po. Okay, next. So, ano lang yun? Sa dividend received. Okay? Next po. Ano pa? The recognition. The recognition. Pagka ibebenta, di ba? And pagka i-recognize na yung asset. Ito, selling price, yung net selling price niya, less, carrying amount. Kung magkano yung carrying amount niya. So, kung nag-reprice na siya, edi yung latest na fair value na ginamit niya in recording the transaction. Tapos, eto, saan lang papasok? Yan yung gain on sale na papasok sa profit or loss. Okay? So, eto naman, pagka FBOC, yung selling price mo less cost. Selling price less cost. Eto naman yung saan papasok. Eto, direct charge sa retained earnings. Okay? So, hindi siya papasok sa profit or loss. So, kung naalala mo pa sa statement of comprehensive income natin, we had already emphasized that unrealized gain or unrealized loss on equity securities classified as FOC, okay, is not allowed to be recycled sa ating PNL. Saan mo siya i-recycle? Diretso mo na siya sa retained earnings. So, ito yung application niyan. Nasusundan yon. So, later papakita natin. Ha? Okay, so, tignan mo pagka FBPL, papasok sa PNL yung gain or loss. Ito naman, diretso sa retained earnings. Walang papasok dun sa PNL mo. Except for the dividends. Is that clear? Nakuha po? Sige, next. Impairment naman. Applicable po ba ang impairment for investment in equity securities? Answer? Hindi. Okay? Not applicable yan. Specifically, mentioned in PFRS 9 that impairment is not applicable for investment in equity securities classified as FBPL and FOC. Clear po ba? So, walang impairment dyan. Clear po ba yan? Okay, next. Paano kung, kunyari, sinabi sa problem, unquoted securities yan. Pag po unquoted, dito kasi sa PFRS 9, pag equity securities, by default, FBPL ang treatment. FBPL. Kaya para magka-FOC ka, dapat sabihin na it was designated as nasundan yun. So, unquoted yan. Kung unquoted, pero may available na fair value, okay, FBPL yung treatment mo. Pero kung totally wala talagang fair value, edi wala kang choice but to use cost method. So, i-recognize siya at acquisition cost. Any dividends will be recognized as dividend income. Tapos, edi kung magkakaroon ng disposal, lahat nakabase saan? Dun sa cost. Clear po ba yun? Pero once na maging available ang fair value, dapat mag-shift siya to fair value model. Nasusundan either FBPL or FOC. Pero yun nga, by default, ano dapat? FBPL. Kaya po? Nasundan mo to? Sige, let's apply these concepts by answering yung ating first three items. Number 1, an entity provided the following information on December 31, 2019. So, anong hinahanap? What total amount should be reported as unrealized loss in the 2018 income statement? So, binigyan ka ng trading securities and then non-trading. So, obviously, yung trading, anong classification mo dyan? FBPL. Kasi, di ba, held for trading siya. Tapos yung non-trading, depende kung, di ba, kung i-classify niya as FBPL or FOC. So, anong sabi? The cost of disposal are estimated at 100,000 for trading securities and 150,000 for non-trading securities. The non-trading securities are designated as measured at fair value through OCI. So, FOC. So, yung trading mo, FBPL. Yung non-trading mo, FOC. Okay? So, what total amount should be reported as unrealized loss in the 2018 income statement? So, anong magiging entry mo? Dun sa trading muna tayo. So, ni-recognize siya at 3.6, tama? Okay, so debit FBPL, 3.6, or investment in trading securities, okay, 3.6, and then credit cash. Tapos, anong gagawin mo? I-re-reprice mo siya, tama? So, anong basis ng repricing? Iko-consider nyo po ba yung cost of disposal? Okay, answer po would be no. Kasi hindi naman tayo fair value less cost of disposal. Anong basehan mo? Fair value. So, magkano aggregate fair value daw ng investment? 3.2. Magkano naka-record? 3.6. So, debit, unrealized loss, na saan papasok? Pagka FBPL, PNL. Unrealized loss na 400, and then credit, investment in trading securities, 400. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, next. So, meron ka ng decline na 400. Tapos yung aggregate lower of cost or market applied individually, hindi naman yan yung requirement kasi. So, ignore mo lang yon. Okay po ba? Next po, for non-trading, so aggregate cost is 5.5. So, ano to FOC? So, anong appropriate measurement niya? Iko-consider mo ba yung cost of disposal? Answer po would be no, kasi fair value. Okay, so magkano siya? 4.5. Okay, so from 5.5 gawin mong 4.5. So, anong entry? Entry mo natin 5.5. Debit, investment in equity securities, FOC, 5.5. Credit cash, 5.5. And then, yung decline, debit, unrealized loss, na saan papasok? OCI. And then credit, investment in equity securities, FOC, 1 million. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, so ayun. So magkano po ang magkano ang net effect nun? 1 million na unrealized loss na saan papasok? Again, it's OCI. So anong sagot natin sa number 1? It's letter C, di ba? 400,000. Dapat po yung 2018, 2019 yun. Ha? Pa-edit na lang. Okay, so 2019 income statement. Answer po is letter C, Charlie. Next po, number 2. On January 1, 2019, an entity purchased equity investments held for trading. So ano kagad to? Tama. Okay. FBPL, di ba? Kasi held for trading. So magkano niya, ano yung mga nangyari? So may security A, B, and C. Tapos July 1, 2020, nagbenta ng security A. So what amount of unrealized loss should be recognized in the 2019 income statement? So wala pang sale no, 2019. So magkano niya i-capitalize? Di ba? Fair value. So magkano yung purchase price niya? 1 million plus 2 million plus 3 million, 6 million. Yung transaction cost, anong treatment niya? Expense. Di ba? So anong entry niya dyan? Debit, investment in equity securities, FBPL, or trading securities. Di ba? Okay, magkano? 6 million. And then expense, 600. Credit cash, 6.6. Is that clear? Okay, next. Tapos anong next na procedure? I-reprice niya. So magkano po ang total fair value ng December 31, 2019? From 6 million, dapat ang carrying amount na lang ay magkano? 1.2 plus 1.5 plus 3.1, magkano yun? 5.8. So, kailangan niyang mag-recognize ng decline. Tama? So, debit. Unrealized loss, 200. Saan papasok? PNL. Kasi FBPL ito. Diba? So, unrealized loss, 200. And then credit, ano po? Investment in equity securities, FBPL. Or trading securities. Gets po ba? Okay, so 200,000. So, anong sagot natin for number 1? It's letter A. Next, what amount should be reported as gain on sale of trading securities in the 2020 income statement? So, anong ginawa niya? The entity sold security A for 1.9 million. So, security A. So, debit cash. Magkano po ang natanggap? 1.9. Magkano ang naka-record na security A? So, investment in equity securities, FBPL, or simply trading securities, ha? So, magkano pong naka-record? Di ba, nirestate na natin siya at market price, di ba? Or fair value on December 31. So, magkano po ito? 1.2. Tapos, any difference, PNL lang yan. So, ano pong gain on sale na magkano? 700,000. Nasundan po ba? So, ano lang kinumpare? Selling price less carrying amount. Diba? 700,000. Did you get that? Nasundan po ba? Okay, so answer po is letter B. Bravo. Number 3. Ano naman to? Okay, FOC. So, on January 1, 2019, an entity purchased non-trading equity investments which are irrevocably designated as FOC. So, ano ang i-capitalize natin? So, 2019 muna, acquisition. Sige, entryhan natin. So, debit, investment in equity securities, FOC. So, magkano pong i-capitalize niya? So, 1 million plus 2 million plus 4 million, total purchase price was 7 million. O, yung transaction cost, i-capitalize po ba yun? Answer po would be yes. Diba? So, parang ang total capitalizable cost ng security A, it's 1.1. 2.2 for security B, and then 4.4 for security C. Nasusundan po ba? So, total, magkano yun? 7.7. And then, credit cash. Okay, 7.7. O, anong gagawin at the end of the year? I-re-reprice. Okay, so kasi it shall be measured at fair value. Magkano po ang total fair value? 1.5 plus 3 million plus 4.7. Magkano po yun? 9.2. Magkano lang naka-record? 7.7. So, we need to increase it by how much? So, 9.2 minus 7.7, please. 1.5. And then, credit, unrealized gain. Nasaan papasok? OCI. So, unrealized gain from changes in fair value of FOC investment. Diba? So, OCI lang yung presentation. So, 1.5. Nakuha. So, ito yung papasok sa OCI mo. Tapos dahil first year, yan rin yung nasa SFP. Diba? Okay, next. The following year, ano po ang entry? July 1, 2020. July 1, 2020. So, Security C was sold for 5.2. Magkano carrying amount ni Security C? 4.7, di ba? Naka-market price siya. So, debit cash, magkano po? 5.2. Tapos, i-recognize natin yung unrealized gain niya, yung share niya sa unrealized gain na nasa OCI. Kasi wala na siya, di ba? I-dispose na yun. Tapos, i-recognize mo yung investment in equity securities, FOC. So, magkano yung carrying amount? Sabi natin, it's at 4.7. Yung unrealized gain, magkano po? So, ang cost niya ay 4.4. Ang market price is 4.7. So, may nakasamang unrealized. Dun sa 1.5, 300 yung para kay Security C. Nasusundan po ba? So, i-recognize na natin yon. Kasi wala na siya di ba? Okay, and then credit. Ano pong credit natin? Retained earnings. Yun yung balancing figure mo. Retained earnings. So, magkano to? So, 5.5 minus 4.7, that would be 800. Ngayon nung sa final phase ng TFRS 9, diretso na po lahat sa retained earnings. Dati po may realized portion na papasok sa PNL, tapos may OCI lang. Ngayon, lahat retained earnings na. Nasusundan, dati may realized, tapos yung unrealized pupunta ng OCI, yung realized pupunta ng PNL. Ngayon, lahat asan na retained earnings lang. Nakuha, yun na yung tandaan mo, retained earnings lang. Clear po ba? Nasundan mo to? Okay, so ano nang magiging carrying amount na lang? Carrying amount mo is yung dalawa na lang, di ba? Yung 1.5 at saka 3 million. Nasusundan yun? Okay. Sige. So, magkano po what amount should be reported as unrealized gain or loss in 2019 as component of OCI? Anong sagot natin? 1.5, 2019 yun what is the net adjustment to retained earnings as a result of the sale of investment in 2020? Sagot? 800,000. So, letter C. Madali lang ang investment in equity securities, FBPL, FOC. Yes, diba? Seryoso, wala nanghihirap yan. Grabe kayo. Okay. Nakuha po ba yan? Yes. Okay, next. Let's account for dividends naman. So, yung items number 4 and 5. Okay, ano po ito? Accounting for dividends. So, ayun. So, sa perspective po ng investor, mas simple ang dividends. Diba? Okay, so ito. So, cash. Pag cash dividend po, i-recognize niya lang yan at face. Diba? O pagka naman property dividends or dividend in kind, i-recognize niya lang po yan ng fair value on the date of donation. Nasusundan yan. Or date of declaration. Okay, hindi siya katulad ng investee side, di ba, sa shareholders equity, subject pa for repricing. Dito sa investor side, okay, at fair value lang. Nakukuha? And then, ang stock dividend, para maging stock dividend yan, dapat investee's own shares yung i-declare niya as dividend. Di ba, sa shareholders equity, may small and large ka. Dito, anong gagawin niya? Memo lang. Kasi dadami lang yung shares niya. Bababa ang cost per unit. Nasusundan. Pero yung effect itself ng dividend declaration, wala. Memo lang yan. So, pagka dumami na lang yung shares niya, edi sa dulo, kukunin niya yung number of shares multiplied by fair value, edi doon mag-a-adjust. Di ba? Doon na lang siya magre-reprice. Pero sa date of declaration itself, walang income doon. Nasusundan po ba? Nakukuha po? Yan. Next, ano pa? So, tas dito, di ba common pa diyan yung cash in lieu of stock dividends or shares in lieu of cash dividend. Yung ano po, pagka ganon, okay, isa pang major difference ng investor at investee. Sa investor, ang tatandaan mo, okay, sa investor, kung ano yung original na dineclare, yun yung basis ng accounting mo. Okay, so kung cash in lieu of stock dividend, so anong original na dineclare? Stock dividend. So, i-treat mo ngayon yun as, sa date of declaration, memorandum entry lang ang gagawin niya. Tapos yung cash na na-receive mo, as if binenta mo yung investments mo. So parang ang entry mo dyan, debit cash, credit investment, tapos debit gain or loss. Nasusundan siya? Nakukuha yan? O basta kung anong original na dineclare, dun ang basis ng dividend. So kung cash in lieu of stock dividend, original ay stock dividend, wala kang dividend income. Kasi stock dividend is not an income. Kung shares in lieu of cash dividend, so nakatanggap ka ng shares in lieu of cash dividend, anong original na dineclare? Cash dividend. So meron kang dividend income. Okay, may i-recognize kang dividend income. Okay, so ano po ang dividend income mo doon? Fair value ng shares received. Sa dulo, yun pa rin. Fair value ng shares received. Pagka walang fair value, yung cash dividend. Okay, yung face amount ng cash dividend originally declared. Nasusundan siya. O, sige, apply natin by answering problems 4 and 5. Tignan mo to. So, anong hinihingi sa atin? What amount of dividend revenue should be reported for the current year? A share dividend of 10,000 shares from a company when the market price of the share was 10 pesos. Okay, so ano to? Share dividend, memo lang yan. May income ka ba dyan? Wala. Okay, dadami ang shares, bababa ang cost per unit. Pero pagka nag-reprice ka, may effect na. Kasi ba, 100,000 yung shares mo. Nag-declare siya ng 10% dividends, nag-declare ng 10,000. Edi ang outstanding shares mo na 110. So pag nag-compute ka ng fair value, 110, tas kung magkano yung fair value per share. So in effect, tataas rin, no? Depende kung FBPL or FOC, kung saan papasok. Nasusundan po ba? Pero definitely, wala kang i-recognize na income. Is that clear? Okay, next po. Okay pa kayo? Yes. Okay, next. Letter B. Second bullet point. A cash dividend of 1.5 from B company in which the entity owned a 50% interest. Okay, so may dividend ba dyan? Yes, di ba? So magkano dividend niya? 15% lang siya, so naka-PFRS 9 yan, di ba? So yung dividend na marireceive niya, i-treat niya as dividend income. So debit cash, okay, credit, dividend income, 1.5. Next, third bullet point. 5,000 shares of C company in lieu of cash dividend. So, anong original na dineclare? Cash dividend. So, sa declaration, tignan mo sa date of declaration, ang magiging entry niya dyan, dividend receivable, magkano po ang dineclare? 50,000 shares multiplied by 20. Kasi yun yung number of outstanding shares, and then ang dividend per share was 20 pesos. So, magkano yun? 1 million. And then credit dividend income. Tapos instead daw na bayaran ng cash, anong ibinigay na lang? 5,000 ng C company. Nasusundan po ba? So, ayun. So, the market price of the share was 150. The entity had 50,000 shares of C company and owned 5%. Kaya may recognition ng income. Kasi 5% lang. Nasundan? So, original, 50,000 times 20. Kaya lang anong natanggap niya? Shares na lang, di ba? So, anong entry niya? Debit investment in C company. Okay, so anong magiging measurement? Sabi natin, fair value of the shares received. Pagka wala, yung original na cash dividend. So, may fair value po ba? Yes, di ba? So, 5,000 shares, magkano market price? 150. So, magkano yun? 750,000. Pero ang naka-recognize na receivable, dividend receivable mo was 1 million. Ayun, i-charge mo sa dividend income. Kasi hindi mo talaga siya income. Nagets po ba? So, magkano yun? 250. So, magkano lang in effect ang naging income natin? So, 1 million yung na-recognize initially, pero nag-cancel ka ng 250. Kasi ang appropriate valuation is the fair value of the shares received. Did you get that? Nasundan po ba? So, magkano ang total total dividend income mo? Yung 1.5 na cash dividend from the first bullet point, and then yung 750, okay, sa second bullet point. So, ang sagot po natin dito would be 2,250,000. Okay, kaya nga minsan ito ang ginagawa pa para kung may option, i-defer yung kung same accounting period lang naman, i-diretso na lang investment in C company, tapos dividend income. Okay, kung magkano yung fair value, so 750, para hindi na O kaya lang mas tama to kasi di ba, nag-recognize ng income sa date of declaration. Yun lang, kailangan mo i-adjust. Ha? Nakuha po? Okay. So, ang sagot natin for number 4 is letter B. Bravo. Okay po? O, next, number 5. Ano ulit? What amount should be reported as dividend income for the current year? An entity provided the following data pertaining to equity investments for the current year. On October 1, the entity received 600,000 liquidating dividend from A company. The entity owned a 10% interest in A company. O liquidating dividend dyan, income pa ba yan? Answer po would be no, di ba? Ano yan? Return of investment, di ba? So, return of investment or ano yan? Dividend out of capital. So, hindi yan kita. Yeah, binabalik yung investment mo. So, not an income. Is that clear? Next po, second bullet point. The entity owned a 20% interest in B company, which declared and paid a 4 million cash dividend to shareholders on December 31. So, may dividend income po ba? May dividend income? Answer? Answer? Wala. Bakit wala? Kasi naka-equity method yan. Diba? So, investment in ASO na yan. Anong sabi natin kanina? Pagka naka-equity method ka, anong treatment mo sa dividend? Reduction sa investment account, not an income. Anong magiging income niya dapat dyan? Yung share dun sa reported net income. Did you get that? Okay, so ito, not an income. Okay, so ano rin yan? As if liquidating dividend, binabalik yung investment mo. Okay, so dapat may income sa third bullet point, di ba? Kasi walang zero sa choices eh. Okay. On December 1, the entity received from C company a dividend in kind of 1 share of D company. So, sino yung investee natin? C company. Nag-declare siya ng property dividend. Yung investment niya kay D company. Nasundan po ba? Okay, so hindi yan share dividend, ha? Okay, property dividend yan. Kasi investment ni C kay D, yung i-declare na dividends. Did you get that? Okay, so anong valuation? Fair value of the property declared as dividends. So, tingnan natin. So, the entity received C company a dividend in kind of 1 share of D company for every 4 C company shares held. The entity had 100,000 C company shares. So, ilan ang matatanggap natin? So, ano magiging entry mo dyan? Debit, investment, okay, investment in D company, okay, kung anong magiging classification mo, diba? And then credit, dividend income. Yan. So, magkano po? So, 100,000 ang C company shares mo, makakatanggap ka ng isa sa bawat 4, right? So, in short, ilang shares ang matatanggap natin? 25,000. So, 25,000 times fair value of D company. So, magkano po ang kay D company? Tama. Okay. So, market price of D company share was 10 pesos. So, wag ka nang malilito dun, ha? Okay. Market price nung asset na natanggap mo. So, magkano po ito? Okay, 250,000. So, 250,000. So, that would be your dividend income. Is that clear? Nasundan po ako doon. So, ang sagot po natin would be letter D, delta. Yung problems number 6 and 7 naman po. These are problems related to accounting for stock rights sa perspective ng investor. Okay, so, ayun. So, sa ano ang stock rights ulit? Ito yung acknowledgement nung right of preemption or preemptive right ng ating mga shareholders. In case of new issuances, sinong priority na dapat nating bentahan kung tayo yung investee? Yung existing shareholders for them to have an opportunity to maintain their percentage of ownership. Okay, ang ano po, sa PFRS, parang ang gray area siya kasi hindi explicit. Pero if you're going to analyze the provision of PFRS, parang leaning towards siya sa not accounting for stock rights separately. Parang hindi mo kailangan i-account separately. Basta kasi wala ka naman talagang natatanggap dyan. Diba? Parang magkakaroon ka lang ng, hindi gagalaw yung resources mo, magkakaroon ka lang ng option to acquire additional shares. Nasusundan siya. Okay, so, ayun. So, kaya, kahit sa investee side kapag nag-declare ng stock rights, memorandum entry lang. Kaya lang, meron rin naman siyang discussion na na pwede mo siyang i-account separately. So, paano yun? Pagka in-account mo separately, ang magiging proforma entry mo, okay, ang proforma entry natin, kapag ka nagkaroon ng stock rights, no, sa perspective ng investor, debit investment in stock rights, and then credit investment in equity securities. Parang ang nangyayari po, yung carrying amount ng investments natin, i-allocate mo siya ngayon sa stock rights and then dun sa equity securities. So parang hahatiin mo lang rin. Pero yung total investment mo will be the same. Nasusundan yon. So paano magiging allocation? If ever, tandaan na, eto mangyayari lang kapag ka pina-account separately yung stock rights. Okay, so ano po? Ang requirement niya, i-measure mo ang stock rights at fair value. O tapos, yung excess mapupunta lang sa sa equity securities. Nasusundan mo siya? Okay, so i-measure mo to at fair value. So parang at fair value, tapos ibawas mo lang sa kanya. Kaya sa kanya pa rin matitira, di ba? Okay, next. Paano kung walang fair value yung stock rights? Okay, pag walang fair value to, gamitan mo daw ng intrinsic value. Okay, so ayun. So, yan yung magre-represent ng fair value. Tapos, excess pa rin sa equity securities. Nasundan mo siya. Nakukuha po. So, paano mag-determine ng fair value, intrinsic value? Yung fair value po, bibigay lang yun sa problem, di ba? Yung intrinsic value, gamitin mo yung ginagamit natin sa calculation ng EPS kapag may stock rights. Naalala mo pa yan? Basta po ang concept ng intrinsic value, yung net savings nung shareholder in acquiring the shares. Because of the stock rights, magkano yung natipid niya. Nasusundan yan. So, paano po yan? Ganito lang po. Intrinsic value, formula-based lang naman. Yun nga lang, mas madaling kabisa doon yung formula pagka alam yung nature, di ba? Okay, so, intrinsic value of stock rights would be equal to market price. Depende. Pagka write-on ang ibinigay, so, minus subscription price, divided by number of rights necessary to acquire one share. Necessary to acquire one share. Tapos dahil write-on ito, may constant value ka na plus 1 kasi may kasama siyang isang right. Nagets po ba? Ano yung market price write-on? Yan po yung bentahan ng shares, okay, habang outstanding yung stock rights. Diba? Kasi pagka bumili ka nun, dahil outstanding pa, may kasama siyang isang right. Gets po ba? Okay, next. Pagka naman ang ibinigay sa atin is market price X right. Ang market price X right naman, prior to declaration ng stock rights or after the exercise of the stock rights. Yun na yung bentahan. Basta in effect, hindi na outstanding yung stock rights. Okay, so market price X right minus subscription price divided by number of rights necessary to acquire one share. So tapos wala siyang plus 1 kasi nga wala siyang kasamang right. Nagigets po ba? Nasundan yun? Ayun. Tapos, di na value mo na. Tapos, kapag ka in-exercise yung stock rights, pag po in-exercise yung stock rights, ibabalik, ano lang yun? Okay? Babalik lang po yung value assigned to the stock rights, magiging part lang po ng, magiging part lang nung cost nung new investment. Tapos, ang logical po dyan, i-exercise yung stock rights. Nasusundan yun. Okay. So, yun. So, illustrate natin, basta sabi natin, yung value ng stock rights na in-assign, magiging part ng cost ng new investment. Okay, sige. Illustrate po natin by answering problem number 6 and number 7. An entity owned 50,000 shares of another entity. So, these 50,000 shares were originally purchased for 100 pesos per share. Okay, so, magkanong cost nun? 50,000 times 100, magkano po? 5 million. So, ang magiging entry niya to record acquisition, debit investment in equity securities, magkano? 5 million. Credit cash. Yan. 5 million. Yan yung entry niya. Next po. The investee distributed 50,000 rights to the entity. Normally naman po, pag nag-declare ng stock rights, one share held will have one right. Diba? Okay, so kaya 50,000 yung shares mo, bibigyan ka ng 50,000 rights. Tapos yun nga lang, hindi man automatic na isang right, isang share. So merong ratio, depende dun sa number of shares na balak issue ni company. Okay, so the entity was entitled to buy one share for 140 pesos and 5 of these rights. So, anong pa ito? Makakabili ka ng isang share pag nagbayad ka ng 140 pesos and then nag-surrender ka ng 5 rights. So, kung may 50,000 rights ka, ilan ang pwede mong bilhin ultimately? So, 50,000 divided by 5. Nasundan yon? Okay, next. So, each share had a market value of 150 and each right had market value of 10 on the date of issuance. So the entity exercised all rights. The share rights are accounted for separately and measured initially at fair value. Ayun, may fair value naman, di ba? So investment in stock rights. So magkano po? So 50,000 yung rights, magkano daw ang value ng isang stock right? 10. So 500,000 and then investment in equity securities, magkano? 500,000. Nasundan yon? Nakuha? Yes. Di ba parang, kaya magkano na yung investment in equity security mo? 4.5. Tapos may investment stock rights ka na, 500. In effect, magkano pa rin ang total investments mo? 5 billion. Di ba? So, nireclass lang. Di ba? Para magkaroon lang ng value yung stock rights. And then, ayun, pag nag-exercise na siya, debit investment in equity securities, anong consideration niya? Una, nagbayad siya ng cash. So, magkano ibabayad niya? Ilang shares bang bibilin niya? 50,000 shares divided by 5. Tama? Times, magkano niya bibilin? 140. Okay? So, tama ba? Yes. Okay, so magkano ang total cost? Or total cash paid? 1.4. 10,000 divided by 140. And then, ano pa? Next po is, yung investment in stock rights, magka-cancel out na yan. Babalik mo lang rin doon. So, yung 500, balik mo dun sa, magiging part lang siya ng cost ng new investment. Nasusundan po ba? So, ang sagot natin sa tanong, would be 1.9. Pero tingnan mo, magkano pa rin ang total investments mo? Total investment mo would still be 6.4. Yung 5 million, tas yung 1.4 na ibinayad mo. Diba? Kaya nga sinasabi niya, kahit na hindi mo i-account separately. Diba? Kasi you'll arrive at the same amount of investment. Nasusundan po ba? Nakuha. Kaya lang, sabi kasi ng problem, i-account separately. So, i-value mo lang at fair value. Did you get that? Nakuha ba? Sige. Next, problem number 7. An entity issued rights to subscribe its share capital. The ownership of 4 shares entitling the shareholders to subscribe for 1 share at 100 pesos. An investor owned 50,000 shares with total cost of 5 million. So, kumbaga, kung bumili siya noon, investment in equity securities, credit cash, magkano daw ang cost? 5 million. So, yan yung entry niya dyan. Tapos, So, the share is, nag-declare ng stock rights, ilang rights ang ibibigay sa kanya? 50,000 din, kasi may 50,000 shares siya. Nasusundan po. So, ayan. So, ilan ang pwede niyang bilhin na shares out of the 50,000 rights? Okay, 12,500. 50,000 divided by 4. Magkano subscription price niya? 100. So, magbabayad siya ng 100 pesos for each share to be acquired. The share is quoted right on at 125. The share rights are accounted for separately and measured initially at fair value. So, di ba dapat i-measure mo at fair value? Kaya lang, walang ibinigay na fair value yung stock rights. So, pagka walang fair value, compute ka ng intrinsic value. Take note, you will only be using intrinsic value in the absence of fair value. So, magkano po ang magiging investment in stock rights at recognition date. So, ang pro forma entry, investment in stock rights, credit, investment in equity securities. So, compute tayo ng, ano po, intrinsic value. So, anong binigay sa atin? Right on na 125. And then, magkano subscription price ulit? 100. O, nasabi natin, pag right on, automatic merong plus 1. So, ilang rights ang kailangan to acquire one share? 4. Ayan. So, ayun. So, magkano intrinsic value? 5. O, di ba pagka formula mo siya kakabisado, medyo maano. Pero, pag in-apply mo, basta alam mo yung concept, madali lang naman. Na? Okay, so, ayun. So, ilang po ang rights? 50,000 multiplied by 5 na intrinsic value. So, that would be 250. 250,000. Nasusundan yan? Okay, next. O, tapos, pagka nag-acquire na, o, the investment in equity securities, credit, cash. O, magkano ibabayad na cash? Diba? 50,000 divided by 4, or that would be 12,500 shares, right? Okay, so magkano subscription price? 100. So, 12,500 times 100, that will give you 1,250. And then, yung investment in stock rights, magkano? 250. So, magkano total cost ng new investment? 1.5. Nasundan nyo? Okay, so ito yung sagot natin. Okay, so letter A. Nakuha? O, next, pero magkano pa rin ang total cost ng investment mo? Yung 5 million na original plus yung ibinayad mo. Diba? So, which is 1,250. So, total cost is 6,250. Nasundan yan? Okay, so, kaya kahit nga hindi account separate. Okay na? Sige. So, ayan po yung ating investment in equity securities, accounting for dividends, and then accounting for stock rights.